as we conclude an action-packed day of Vulcan sports, I'd like to welcome you all to the Convocation Center for today's PSAC matchup between the Edinboro Fighting Scots and the California Vulcans. My name is John Sape, and alongside me here today is my dear friend, Mr. Gary Smith. Gary, how are you doing today?
The fact that you brought me a Subway chicken snack wrap earlier today saved my life. I'm doing well. I can't wait for this. This is our second shoot of the day. Big matchup here, PSAC West action. California coming into game 3-7 overall, 0-1 in the PSAC West. Edinboro coming in 9-5 overall, 0-1. Didn't have a chance to see who Edinboro played already in the West. California this week, Tuesday afternoon, or Tuesday evening rather, played Clarion, lost 3-1. And then Thursday night here at the Convocation Center, the Vulcans lost 3-1. They took the first set against Walsh, and then Walsh they had a big front line for the Cavaliers and just kind of wore the Vulcans down. But it's a new day, shoot number 2 of the day, John Sape, and we're going to have some fun here for Vulcan volleyball.
Oh, yes, we are. We're chugging along. This is going to be a good one for sure. Like you said, both teams looking for their first conference win of the young season so far. And it will be Edinboro back to serve first. Just waiting for.
This is always my favorite part of a volleyball match because they determine the serve earlier, but then the officials and coaches keep it secret, and then nobody knows what's going on, and then the officials check the rotation, and all the coaches look at the official, and then everybody looks at each other, and then we're the ones that sound kind of goofy because we don't know who's serving. It's going to be Edinboro serving first, moving right to left. Edinboro, if you haven't mentioned, wearing the white with the libero in red. California in the home all black with the libero in white. So let's play some volleyball, my friend.
Whistle is blown. It's going to be Soboleski to serve first here for the Fighting Scots. Pravada sets it up on the outside for Ruggiero. Takes a tip on the way through, and the Vulcans strike first in set number 1.
And we've been seeing Ruggiero, especially on Thursday night and also in the Vulcan Invitational early in the year, really starting to assert herself. She's a good two-way player. She's good with the kills, but she's also good at keeping rallies going. So very versatile player for the Vulcans.
Lindenfelser gets herself an ace. Quick 2-0 start here for California.
And Kay Lindenfelser, the outside hitter, sophomore from Pittsburgh, had a strong service game Thursday night against Walsh.
Second serve from Lindenfelser, just off the tip of the net. Nice dig out by the libero. A bit of a miscue, but the Fighting Scots able to get it over. Dronberger on the outside, another tip on the way through, and another kill successful for the Vulcans. Quick 3-0 start here for Cal.
And, John, I mentioned it the other night, whenever Dronberger's coming off that left side and hitting, it's almost unstoppable. She had a high kill percentage, high hitting percentage on Thursday, and continuing that with a very early aggressive kill.
Referee loses his flag, but able to recover that, get us back on our way. Lindenfelser serve. Dug out. Kill attempt in the middle. Nice. Strong attack right down the middle. At number 13, Erika Lindquist, the grad student from Sweden. Able to get the Fighting Scots on the board. Jessica Harden, number 10, back to serve there for the Fighting Scots. Set up on the outside for Dronberger. Her kill tipped at the net. Edinboro able to recover. Kill attempt on the outside. Lindquist's attempt takes a tip off the California Vulcans and out of play. 3-2 now is the score in set number 1. Harden, the redshirt senior from LaPorte, Texas. Her serve dug up by the Vulcans. Ruggiero from the right side, and just too much for Harden in the back. California able to get themselves another point through Ruggiero.
And Ruggiero asserting her dominance right now, continuing what she did. And we see Johnson coming in for California, and she's been a brick wall in the middle of that line for California.
Oh, Beer, great dig out. Set up for Ruggiero on the outside. Thought maybe it was going to go out. The Fighting Scots able to keep it in play. But the third hit by Nealons, not enough on it, straight into the net, California point.
And one of the things we talked about the other night, and also in any game, Edinboro has about a 2.5-hour drive down here. always tough to get off of a bus, get warmed up and play. So big advantage for California if they can take this first set.
And Nealon's able to right the wrongs of the last point. Her strong attack off the fingertips of the Vulcan wall, and out of play for the Edinboro point. Fighting Scots serve, dug out by Lindenfelser. Favada sets it up for Johnson, who slams it home in the middle.
And it's not hard to see that that's a very effective play. Set to Johnson, and Sophia, who has been hitting at a very high rate this year, will get the point for California. That forces Edinboro to call the first time out of the game, trailing 6-3. And, John, like I said, this second straight game at home for the California Vulcans, second PSAC West game. Tuesday, like I said, they played at Clarion and lost. Clarion's always tough. Thursday night, they played a very, very good Walsh team, lost 3-1. So PSAC West is very tough. This is a game, if you're California, you would really like to steal against Edinboro. Even though their record's 9-5, 0-1, this is a game you think you can probably compete in and probably win in. And the only way to start a streak is get the first one. And what better way than to start right here?
Yeah, all it takes is one, and Coach Emmerich in her first season in charge of the Vulcans has had a bit of a go at to start the season. Not the greatest of starts, but obviously you see some of the bright spots of this team so far, and it's really in this matchup. It's the fresh meat in Emmerich versus the experience and Coach Soboleski in her 20th season in charge of the Fighting Scots on the other side.
It looks like checking in for California will be Morgan Johnson. She'll be checking out for Ruggiero, and Johnson will go back to serve. Morgan Johnson, the 5'7" freshman from Leonardtown, Maryland, sister city of Ritchieville, Pennsylvania. Some
people are saying, as Johnson serve, dug out nicely by the Fighting Scots, bit of a miscommunication, able to tip that one over. Schronberger off of the net. Fighting Scots set it back up on the outside, and the kill attempt off of just straight out of play. I thought maybe it came off of the fingertips of the Vulcans, but great disciplined play that time, and it was Hoyt a little bit too strong on the outside.
This is a great start for California, getting off to a 4-point lead. Love to see them continue it here on a rally.
Johnson served, dug out nicely by Pry. Oh, the kill attempt way too strong by Nealons. Nobody was going to be able to stop that one. Great point for the Fighting Scots.
Michaela Nealons, a 5'9" sophomore from Clio, Michigan. Had to check my bifocals there, but Clio, Michigan, and that was just a perfect placement on that kill attempt by her.
Fighting Scots serve. Nice diving dig by Lindenfelser. Jordanberger gets it over. It's up in the middle and a whiff. A nice job by Smith, able to get it over. Jordanberger tips it over. Fighting Scots reset. Nealons on the outside again. Nice diving effort once more by Lindenfelser in the back row. Johnson able to get it over. Third time's a charm and stopped right at the net. Great block there by Johnson. Droneberger again. A great rally back and forth, and Droneberger able to get the finishing touches on it. And the California Vulcans were able to grab the point.
And it's not going to show up on the score sheet, but Taylor Pasco had a great dig on the left side, kept the ball in play, and California, about 7 exchanges later, gets the point. So an 8-4 score here at the Convo.
Droneberger's serve, dug out by Pry. Free ball over by the Fighting Scots. Set up in the middle for Johnson again, and Johnson hammers it home.
Sophia Johnson, just no words for what she's doing in the middle of California. That line, it seems like when she gets set right in the middle and in full stride to get everything behind it, it's almost impossible to stop.
California off to a hot start, 9-4 the score here in set number 1. Droneberger serve. Nealon's able to get that one over. Set up on the outside for the Vulcans. California, the Fighting Scots able to keep it up. And a bit of a misplay that time by Morgan Johnson, back setting. And nobody in the back row for the Vulcans able to deal with it.
Yeah, I think that was the case. Just the ball was in perfect placement, and California just had a little scramble drill and unsuccessful, but still up 4 here in the first set.
Nealon's able to dig that one out. Nice tip over in the point by Anna Marie Petrusevich.
Petrusevich, the 5'11" freshman from New Freedom. She had a a big impact on Thursday night's game against Walsh. Again, she's a player kind of like Reguera, where she can play the net and kill, but she also can keep rallies going on the back with passes.
The winner of today's longest name goes to her as the Vulcans serve. Kill attempt dug out nicely by Altsman. Set up in the back row for Droneberger, blocked straight at the net. Great block by Casey Smith.
And if you're playing our longest CUTV name game at home, and you had Anna Marie Petrosevic today, you can stop by the station on Monday afternoon and get your framed autograph picture of John Sape, either in or out of full clown bar makeup. So that's your choice as the winner.
Get in line. It was Isaacs, her serve, set up on the outside. Petrosevic dug out nicely by the Fighting Scots. The Vulcans up 10-6. Johnson able to dig that one out. Altsman sets it up for Petrosevic again. Off the fingertips of the Fighting Scots. Now to play. California on a roll right now. 11-6 now the score.
And we talk a little bit about awards and prizes, but if Petrosevic keeps playing like that, she might be in line for some PSAC West laurels here for volleyball, either freshman or player of the week, as she is really starting to come alive last couple games for California.
California led 11, Edinboro 6. Adriana Favada checks back in to serve. Finds the back row, dug out nicely by the Fighting Scots. And the kill attempt just too strong. That time by Faith Schneider. Sends that one high and out of play.
Schneider, the 5'9 freshman from Vienna, Ohio, just had a little too much mustard and height on that.
California up 12-6. Favada's serve dug out, sent back over by the Fighting Scots. Droneberger from the back row. Free ball over. Fighting Scots now the chance to attack. Harden, her kill, too strong and out of play. Another California point.
There's going to be another timeout for Edinboro right now. It's 13-6. We're 19 points into this first set, and Edinboro has used both of its timeouts for the first set. But talked a little bit about, let's go back a few points where Edinboro shot the ball long over the block, and that was something we saw on Thursday night. It seemed like California was having success at the net with some blocks, and slowly but surely Walsh was slowly starting to have to hit around that block, and either sometimes had some errors hitting it into the net or hitting it over and out. So we'll see if that is something that is to watch for the rest of this game.
Yeah, I mean, the Vulcans have some of the tallest players in the PSAC and around the net. You got Sophia Johnson, 6'1", Natalie Beer, 6'1", Droneberger, 6 foot, all in and around the net, constantly making plays on the defensive side for the Vulcans. So any team is going to find it hard to get it past them.
And, John, as we mentioned, this is our second full shoot of the day. We were at the Vulcan football game earlier where California won 49-7. And also working the game was Sophia Johnson for the AT staff for California. So she's also pulling double duties to see how – I know how I feel after two games. So hopefully she's feeling a lot better and we'll be able to be dominant in the middle. But long day here, Vulcan Athletics. 5 events going on.
5 too many. That's Favada's serve sent back over by the Fighting Scots. California now have a chance to attack. Reguera on the outside, tipped. Nice effort to keep that one up. Nealon's able to keep it in play, and the Fighting Scots able to get it over. Fake setup. Nice dig out by Pry. The Fighting Scots go again. The kill in the middle, too strong and too powerful by Lindquist. Able to find the back corner.
And circle Carly Pry on that point. She had a pancake in the middle there to keep the play alive. 5'5" senior from New Philadelphia, Ohio. So Edinboro having several players from the Midwest, Ohio, Michigan, Erie, PA, Texas, Sweden, Spain, Indiana, New York, and once again Pennsylvania.
The serve by Nealons, smartly played that time by the Vulcans, just letting that one fall out of play.
Checking back in for California will be Anna Marie Petrosevic, and she will go back to serve. Excuse me, that is number 3, Kay Lindensfelder. The font from about 80 feet away is very, very hard to read with the Vulcan font.
Lindenfelser with the dig. Off the kill attempt, set straight back up in the net. The Vulcans able to keep it up, playing some hot potato. Set up on the outside. The kill by Harden, way too strong, and Harden able to find some real estate on the Vulcan side and grab the Fighting Scots another point.
I'll tell you what, though, give California credit for keeping that play alive. Is the kill attempt was straight down from Lindquist, and California somehow able to get a hand on it, keep it alive, but Edinboro was able to get the point.
Harden serve. Set up in the middle for Beer, and Beer able to jam that one home.
And Natalie Beer, a player that really had an effect on Thursday's night's game. And if they can get her heated up and have her, Johnson, Ruggiero, and Dronberger all hitting at a high clip, it's going to be good for California.
After the point, Beer serves. Set up on the outside for Nealons, and Nealons able to get past that Vulcan wall right at the net and able to find the Fighting Scots another point.
Nealons a little bit of magic. She was moving to her left and hit back to her right between the California block, and Edinboro staying around 6 points here in the first set.
Set up for Ruggiero. Too strong, just trying to find that back corner.
And Ruggiero got everything into that. I think that might have been a broken wrist had someone tried to get in front of it.
Luckily, the Fighting Scots were able to get out of dodge on that one. Pravada, Dronberger, nice block at the net, but the Vulcans able to keep it up. Nice play that time by Pasco. And the Vulcans again just diving around, trying to keep it up. That time Ruggiero tried to keep it up, but I believe it was Hoyt on the far side for the Fighting Scots with a point.
Hoyt, a 6'0 junior from Fishers, Indiana, going to be a problem in the front for against California in this game.
Bit of an awkward play that time by the Vulcans, able to get it over Nealons with the light tap right over the wall. Fighting Scots fighting back, 15-12 now the score.
Michaela Nealons coming into this contest with team lead for Edinboro, 226 kills, so showing she can do it with some power and precision.
Serve off the net, Vulcans able to deal with it. Dronberger dug out, Johnson tip at the net. And bit of a miss hit that time as the setup in the middle for Smith. She jumped a little bit too early, was not able to get it over in 3 hits, Vulcan point. And they needed that one after Fighting Scots were rallying back just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of a rally snuffer there, so not only that, you stuff the rally, get a point, go back up 4, 16-12. You need 9 before Edinboro gets 13.
Morgan Johnson checks back in, and her serve. Nealons on the outside. I mean, that time Lindenfelser did all she could, but too strong by Nealons. That one ended up way out of play.
Yeah, there was no way anybody was getting to that. So 16-13, and this be interesting to see if Edinboro gets another point here too. If California may call a timeout to stop this rally.
Fighting Scots serve. Dronberger able to get it out, and it's her hit over. Dug out that time by Burns. Nealons on the outside again. Nice play by Pasco, diving to her right. Back set on the outside, and the kill attempt able to find its home. Number 20, Lexi Muck, the freshman from Youngstown, Ohio.
And we saw her have a big impact in that Vulcan Invitational a few weeks ago. It was a little quiet Thursday night, but shows why she is getting this playing time, because she has a lot of power coming off that front line.
Dronberger serve. Dug out by Harden. Set up for Nealons on the outside. Pasco able to just take the sting out of it. Set out for Petrovic. Fighting Scots now. Nealons just trying to tip it over, but the Vulcans are right there. Back set in the kill. Blocked, but the Vulcans somehow able to keep it up. Dronberger able to send that free ball back over. Johnson right there to stuff it at the rim. Nealons, another great dig by the Vulcans. This rally continues. It's going to end up being a Fighting Scot point after Anne-Marie Petrosevic hits into the net.
Yeah, that hit the antenna. The Edinboro front line just cut off any angle, so Petrosevic only had about a volleyball width to get it through, and unfortunately hit the antenna and point Edinboro.
And great rally. Johnson in the middle, and Johnson doing what she does best.
Sophia Johnson up, ball go down, point for California. So continuing a really good early part of the season is Sophia Johnson, the senior out of Waynesboro, Pennsylvania.
Altsman serve. Set up on the outside. Harden, Hirsch, kill. Blocked by Beer. Harden again. Able to just get that one over.
Hit the antenna, so point California. The near official was right on it. I don't know a lot of the volleyball hand signals, but I do know when the flag starts spinning around, it's off the antenna.
Something's up. 19-14 the score. Back set and the kill. Oh, my goodness. Way too strong from Casey Smith.
And Abigail Soboleski, the senior setter out of Erie, PA, just doing some magical things with those back sets.
I think Smith could have killed someone there. they weren't ready for it. 19-15 to score. Isaacs back to serve. Drumberger able to dig it out, set up on the outside for Petrosevic. Nice diving play by Isaacs. Somehow the Fighting Scots able to keep it up. Set up in the middle for Beer. Just able to tip it over. Edinboro, their attempt, that time from Harden, way too strong out of play.
And I tell you what, Lexi Muck was ready to throw that down had that ball been about 2 inches lower. She was right in position, and she will check out, and checking back in will be Adriana Flavata. So, and I believe Flavata will probably go back to serve, and I am correct. And I think Flavata in the games we have seen has probably been the most steady server for California. Just you have the veteran player back there. She's probably not going to do anything crazy. Keep the ball in play and give the Vulcans a chance with 5 points to play with here to maybe close this first set out.
20-15 the score. What a great year. Set up on the outside. That time it was Lindquist. Just took a hit off of one of the Vulcans players and out of play, but no one was going to stop that one from California.
Yeah, I think it might have been went off the forearm of Valley Dronberger. So, but there was nothing that was going to happen to stop that ball.
Fighting Scots. Soboleski, her serve. And set straight back up.
Net violation.
I think the Vulcans catch a break as it was straight into the lap of Lindquist, who fired it home, but like you said, net violation, Vulcan point.
And the chair umpire was all over that, so no real argument from either team, and California again up by 5.
Lyndon Felser serve a little bit too strong, and that one smartly let out by the Fighting Scots.
I think for California, you don't want to give Edinboro any free points here. You want to try and get this set in the bag and don't give Edinboro any momentum going into set number 2.
Harden, her serve. Dug out by Altsman. Set up on the outside for Dronberger. They would just tip that one over. Fighting Scots now. Harden from the back row. Bit of a miss hit straight into her own net. California point.
Yeah, just a little bit of an unforced error right there. Is the math looks like it's going to be pretty good for California as Beer goes back for a serve.
For a serve. Dug out by Pry. A kill attempt by Nealon. Somehow the Vulcans are able to get it over. Nealon heard another kill attempt, and you can stop her once, but second time's the charm that time for Nealon.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you give Nealon a player for quality 2 free swings at it, you're going to be able to stop too many, as there's going to be a timeout California. And, John, we mentioned a little earlier, kind of wanted to keep Edinboro from getting any momentum. We saw that kind of happen Thursday against Walsh. California in that first set had a pretty comfortable lead for most of that first set, and then slowly, when it got to be about this point in the game, Walsh got to within 2 or 3, and then it turned out that momentum just carried through the next 3 sets, and California lost 3-1. So I think that's a good timeout. Just kind of reset everybody and say, hey, let's take care of business. You're up 4.
And make sure everyone's on the same page, especially on the defensive side, because we've seen once the Fighting Scots are able to get a good attack going, setting it up for Michaela Nealons on the outside, it's hard for anybody to stop. So California, he said, smartly taking a timeout, regrouping.
Well, I have a second, John. Say, what's your favorite website? CalVulcans.com, correct?
Absolutely.
That
was my first thought.
Okay, good. I was getting worried. That's why I cut you off. I didn't know what to say, but make sure you go to CalVulcans.com and follow Cal Vulcans on all social for up-to-date information for all the Vulcan athletics programs.
Johnson, her kill sends Harden to the ground, but Harden able to keep it up. Free ball over by the Fighting Scots. Flavata back set. Johnson again, and that time too strong for Pry.
Sophia Johnson just coming off that right side. I don't know if there's anybody on the Edinboro side that is going to get up and challenge Johnson when she comes out there with a free swing and a good set.
She also told me and Nate yesterday that we were on the team. So me and Nate, official members of the Vulcans volleyball team, has Smith in the middle. Sends that one straight over.
Unfortunately, Sophia did not see Nate play pickleball the other day, and you haven't played yet, so we don't know where your bar is.
All I'm saying is Nate and I saw her in the parking lot, and she told us to come out for scout team. So
all right,
we're part of the team. 23-19 the score. It's served by Edinboro. Flavata backs at Johnson from the right side again. That time a little bit too cute with it, sends that one out of play, just trying to find this nearby line.
Yeah, I think the set might have just took her a little too far to the sideline, and California's lead shrunk to a 3-point cushion here in the first set.
Edinboro able to dig it out. Johnson, the free tip over. Nealons with the kill. Nice diving effort to keep it up. Drumberger from the far side. Somehow, ball straight up in the air. California come down with it. Set up for Drumberger on the outside again. Too much for Pride. Trying to dig that one out. Vulcans now on set point.
Great effort, though, for Pride. A few points or a few rallies before theirs. Kept a ball that probably should have hit the ground in play. Edinboro had a chance, and California eventually gets the point. And there's a timeout, and the officials talking to Allie Drumberger. Not sure.
Originally, it looked like there was a bit of miscommunication between Lyndon Felser and Anna Marie Petrosevic. Looked like she was trying to come on, but Lyndon Felser stays on. Drumberger back to serve. Vulcans on set point. Dug out, set up on the outside for Smith, and Smith's kill too strong and out of play, and the Vulcans take set number 1, 25-20. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here for set number 2 on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1, and the PSAC Network. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Convocation Center as we get ready for the beginning of set number 2 between California and Edinboro. The Vulcans take set number 1, 25-20 over the Fighting Scots with a ton of contributions, especially from Sophia Johnson down the stretch. She was on an absolute tear. Pravada just kept setting her up as she was trailing to that right side time and time again, and Johnson really stepped up at the end of that first set for California. So get ready for set number 2. Both teams switch sides.
And California will get the serve. Not a mystery after you figure out who has it at the beginning. The problem then is remembering. Remembering after a long day is tough, but California will get the serve. Good first set by the Vulcans. Really, not. I mean, a lot of pluses, not any minuses. Like if you're California, like the fact that they're setting the front. Sophia Johnson doing what she's been doing all year. Allie Drumberger chipping in with some kills. Your defense doing a good job of getting some digs, keep rallies going, and hopefully some more. Be great if you're a California fan to have Adriana Flavata be back on that serve line for about 4 or 5 minutes, which means California's got 4 or 5 points right off the top.
The junior from Peoria, Arizona, checks back in to serve.
Peoria, Arizona, a sister city of Ritchieville, Pennsylvania. Not a lot of people know that.
Everyone, I've heard, everyone's been saying that. Her serve dug out by Pry. Nealon's on the far side, dug out by Dronberger. Flavata back set. Ruggiero, her kill attempt. Pry able to deal with it. Nealon's, her kill. I don't know how she's able to generate that type of power. And the dig out from Mercer ends up into the net. First point of set number 2 going to Edinboro.
Yeah, Michaela Nealon's 5'9" sophomore from Clio, Michigan. Just, like I said, when she gets a good set and is able to get a full run-up into it, it's been tough for California to deal with in this match.
Set up in the middle that time. Petrosevic able to send that one home. Beer flanking on the outside, but the set straight in the middle for Petrosevic.
Petrosevic just getting a nice set and almost hit it so hard it's almost stuck to the Edinboro player, kind of hit in the crook of the arm, and can't do that in volleyball, and it's a 1-1 score.
Lindenfelser, she checks back in. Her serve set up in the middle that time. Lindquist, too strong and out of play.
A good job by California to get up and force Lindquist just to go long with that kill attempt.
Lindenfelser's serve, dug out by Pry. Set up on the outside, blocked at the net by Ruggiero. Another kill attempt set over. Lindenfelser ranging to her right, able to deal with it. Dronberger on the outside, tipped at the net. Set up on the outside again for Harden. The Vulcans with Beer now, dug out in the back. Pry sets it up again, and that's that time Harden able to find the back corner.
And circle, even though California got the point, California's libero Carolyn Mercer doing a good job. A couple big digs there to keep the rally going. Unfortunately, California gave up the point, but good effort on the back line of California's defense.
Carly Pry, her serve. Flavata sets it up for Ruggiero, able to send that one over. Harden on the outside. Dronberger able to deal with it. Flavata sets it back up. The give and go to Dronberger, dug out by Pry. Harden, another kill attempt on the outside. Nice play by Lindenfelser going to her right. Dronberger to Ruggiero, takes a tip at the net. Good rally going. Harden able to send that one over. Lindenfelser, Flavata sets it up for Beer, who just is able to get it over. Fake set that time. The Vulcans able to deal with it. Ruggiero again in her kill attempt. Third time's the charm for the Vulcans. Ruggiero able to get that one home.
And again, I want to circle Caroline Mercer there. She did a good job, a couple exchanges before that, doing a set from, it has to be one of the hardest things is setting across the court to get a good set and a kill attempt, but a great job by California just getting that point.
Nice play once again by Lindenfelser. Doing it all on the defensive side. Ruggiero's kill sent back over by the Fighting Scots. The Vulcans up 3-2. Ruggiero, another kill attempt, takes a big bounce and out of play off of the fingertips of Smith at the net.
And a big smile for Ruggiero right there. She's really starting to feel a part of this second set. Couple kills in a row there, and again, when she's swinging with full force, it's tough to stop her.
It's like a freight train coming right at you. Smith able to just send that one over. Lindenfelser sets it up for Dronberger at the net, and a net violation by the Fighting Scots. The Vulcans take a 5-2 lead.
California's a 3-point lead. We'll see if Coach Soboleski takes an early timeout. We saw her take 2 timeouts in the first 20 points in this first set, so we'll see how short of a leash she gives her charges.
Smith in the middle. Favato, nice diving play. Ruggiero able to send that one over. Nealon's from the back row. Lindenfelser digs it out. Favato sets up in the middle for Johnson. There's a block. Dronberger able to come up with it. Ruggiero gets it over. Pry set up in the back row. Nealon's another strong hit. Favato digs it out. Lindenfelser sets it up through Ruggiero and just hits it. But too early in her flight.
Yeah, I think maybe she on her run-up maybe scuffed her shoes. Didn't get a real good, clean attack at that, but can't fault her. She's had a good early part of this second set here. California ahead by 2.
Laney Burns back to serve. Dronberger digs it out. Favato gives it back to her. Tipped at the net, dealt with by the Fighting Scots. Nealon from the back row. Free ball over by Lindenfelser. Back set for Smith. Takes the bounce off of the net and onto the court.
Casey Smith just playing placement over power there. Hits the top of the tape and just trickles down. Edinboro 2 straight points here to get back within 1.
Sometimes that's all you need. Lainey Burns, her serve. Dug out by Dromberger. Back set from Fabata to Regera. Nice block at the net once again by Smith. And Dromberger on the third hit, just trying to get it over. Another miss hit into the net. Edinboro squares things up at 5.
Good effort by Dromberger, but I'm not sure even if she got that over, it was going to be long for California's. They had 2 players right at the net, but 5-5 California still level with the Fighting Scots.
Just Burns a serve, giving the Vulcans all sorts of trouble, just diving around for it, and all the players not in the right position. Ends up in an easy point for Edinboro. They take the lead 6-5.
And I believe that was Abigail Soboleski as she just took it over. Not really a powerful kill attempt, just put it right where they weren't.
Fabata sets it up for Dromberger on the outside. Nice dig by Burns. Nealon's from the back row, dug out by Fabata. Dromberger again just trying to get it over. Just isn't enough on it that time. Another one straight into the net.
California going straight to the benches. Allie's going to sit down. Coming back in to replace her will be Courtney Smith. So maybe a little bit of tired legs here. Give Dromberger a few seconds to recoup and see if they can stop this Edinboro surge, which is now 4 straight points.
Lindenfelser. That time it is Smith sending that one over. Set up on the outside for Houston. Nice dig that time by Taylor Pasco. Smith. Strong hit over, dug out by Burns. Free ball over from Smith. Fabata back set to Johnson. And there's a tip at the net. Johnson and the Vulcans able to break the streak from the Fighting Scots.
Good job that time by Sophia Johnson. Able to steer it enough into a player for Edinboro and get the point. And that'll bring up a new server for California. That is Morgan Johnson. Again, the freshman getting a lot of service time for the Vulcans, both at the service line and everywhere else on the team right now.
Serve dug out. Smith on the near side sends that one out of play, too strong. And the Vulcans tie it up at 7.
A good job of restraint by California's Courtney Smith, just getting out of the way of that kill attempt, kind of sensing that it was going to go long, and California fights back, tied up at 7.
Johnson serve. Set up for Houston. Nice block. That time by Sophia Johnson. But a whistle blown immediately. Point for Edinboro.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe a net violation or maybe foot got underneath the chair umpire was right on it. No real dispute by California, and Edinboro gets a point. And going back to serve will be Jessica Harden from LaPorte, Texas.
Her serve sent back over from Courtney Smith. Vulcans now Pasco. Free ball over. Set up on the far side. Nice block by Johnson. Fighting Scots have another chance. Nealon's able to get it over. And some tips at the net. Nice diving effort by Lindenfelser again to keep it in play. Smith, her kill attempt, just placing it right where none of the Vulcans are.
Kay Lindenfelser, they're looking like a gold glove shortstop diving after that first dig attempt. Kept the first one out and then was not able to recover enough time to get the ball that went at her feet. But Edinboro now taking, I believe this is their biggest lead of the game at 2, 9-7.
Back set for Sophia Johnson, takes a tip at the net. The Fighting Scots able to play. Nealon's, her kill attempt blocked. Nealon's again, another block. That time it was Lexi Muck able to get a hand on it. Johnson the first one, Muck the second.
We were kind of calling them the law firm of Muck and Johnson in the Vulcan Invitational. Was during that 3-game stretch a couple weeks ago. They were very active up front for California's. Now Dromberger is going to check back in. She will check in for Courtney Smith, and I believe Dromberger will go back to serve, awaiting the signal from the far referee.
Yeah, Muck listed at 5'4", but there's no way that's accurate because she's playing way bigger than that in and around the net. Dromberger's serve set up for Nealon's, and another block by Muck, but a great diving effort by Pride to keep it up. Nealon's again, another block by Muck and Johnson. The third kill attempt by Nealons. And it was a nice diving effort that time by Mercer, but straight to Nealons, and Nealons just able to get a hand on it.
And that was just attrition right there. California unable to get anything to the back line. Edinboro just had a couple free swings at the net, and again equaling their largest lead of this set at 2, 8-10.
Ella Isaacs back to serve. Set up in the middle for Johnson, able to get a hand on it. Free ball right in and around the net. Takes an awkward bounce off of an Edinboro player and out of bounds.
And I think what we're going to do, John, is this week you're going to break down some film and see how many points California gets when Sophia Johnson's right in the middle, because when she's in the middle of that California line, I mean, the majority of the points are going the Vulcans' way.
Yeah, point per touch from Sophia Johnson's got to be high. That's way too strong of a kill attempt by Nealons on that far side, and there's nothing the Vulcans can do about it.
I'll tell you what, the ball still almost found Sophia Johnson getting a drink of the Gatorade. Is that just ricocheted off the block? And once again, Edinboro not able to pull away, but able to keep that 1 to 2 point lead against California. Is there some moisture being wiped up off the floor? Humid day here in California. We had some light sprinkles earlier at the football game.
Serve dug out by Drumberger. Set up for Petrosevic. After she just checks back in, able to get the Vulcans a point.
And you have Flavata and Ruggiero checking back in, and that'll sit down Muck, and looks like Johnson going to sit down. So Flavata rotating back around to serve. And again, if you're California, I think this is what you like. Flavata, very capable, very steady server back there. Maybe get a point or two, take the lead, and then just see what happens.
Set up in the middle. Flavata did everything she could. But Erica Lundquist can't be denied in the middle.
I think Flavata was caught in no man's land there. I think she initially wanted to come up and take that higher, but ended up backing up and was able to not get to the ball.
Flavata's set for Ruggiero, dug out by Pry. Harden on the outside. Nice diving effort from Drumberger in the back row. Petrosevic, too strong that time for Soboleski.
And I have a feeling we'll be seeing that on the highlights when I cut them tomorrow morning, because that was a fastball down the middle that she hit out of the ballpark. Again, Petrosevic really asserting herself nicely in this match.
Lindenfelser back in, and her serve dealt with by Pry. Lindquist in the middle. I mean, that time Flavata took the full face brunt of it. It's going to end up going out of play after an effort by Ruggiero to keep it in.
Ruggiero almost taking out Sports Information Director Matt Kiefer and his assistant Kaylee Rister. So glad everybody's safe over there at Sports Info Row.
Nice block at the net, denying Ruggiero. Set up on the outside for a hard. Nice effort once again by Lindenfelser on the defensive side. Ruggiero going for placement, and placement is all she needed. Great job that time by Ruggiero.
I think that ball actually hit 3 lines where those the middle line and the end line or the sideline come in. Just perfect placement there.
Just right at the cross section of a Vulcan point. Natalie Beer to serve. 13-12 the score. Edinboro with the lead. Nice play by Beer to dig that one out. Back set for Ruggiero. Not a lot of sting in that one. Harden blocked at the net by Johnson. And the Vulcan bench bowing down to Sophia Johnson. And I mean, she's been playing like it.
What can you say? It's a broken record right now. She's just dominant in the middle of that line for California right now.
Beer serve. Set up in the middle. Lindenfelser, nice defensive play. Ruggiero, her kill attempt. Just too awkward for Nealons to deal with. Not that strong of a hit, but great placement. And the Vulcans reclaim the lead 14-13. And Coach Soboleski and the Fighting Scots are going to take a timeout.
Yeah, timeout, and California doing a good job of getting back into the lead. And you have to think, as a California fan, just the way the set's been going, if you could somehow get back in the lead, you can maybe pull away. I mean, they definitely have the fresher legs. Again, Edinboro, about a 2.5 hour, 2 hour, 45-minute drive from here. So always tough to get off of a bus stretch play. California got the first set. But John Sabe, let me ask you another question.
Yeah, I'm all ears.
What is your favorite account to follow on X, formerly Twitter?
Oh, that's a good question. Cal Vulcans?
What's the other one I'm hoping you'll say?
CUTV.
What's the rest of it?
CUTV underscore
PA. Look
PA.
at this guy.
Hey, I remember.
We're going to get that tattooed on your hand next time for the timeouts. But follow that for all of our up-to-date crew information. I always put the YouTube links. Again, CUTV's programming is available live on the PSAC Digital Network and our YouTube page at CUTV Sports 1, and that's going to be a question later for you.
I'm also a big fan of the official Arsenal Twitter account. Big win today, 4-2 over Leicester City.
The Foxes.
They needed it. Lindenfelser, nice dig. Favada sets it up for Ruggiero. Bit of a hook shot that time, able to get that one over. Lindenfelser sets it up for Ruggiero. Another kill attempt. Nice diving effort by Price. Set up on the outside for Harden. Takes a deflection and finds the Vulcan side of the floor.
Great shot by Harden right there. Just deflecting it off the block into the open space, 14-14. Getting to that point where each team needs 11 to finish off this set.
Lady Burns back to serve for the Fighting Scots. Set up in the middle for Johnson, and Burns able to deal with it. Harden, her attempt blocked at the net by Johnson. Fighting Scots able to get it over. Favada sets it up for Droneberger, and too strong for Burns. Ends up into the Fighting Scots bench.
And again, John, I think that's one we might see in the highlights as Droneberger takes a fastball and takes it almost over the bench for Edinboro on the far side. And checking back in for the Vulcans to serve will be Morgan Johnson. So you have Droneberger, Muck, and Johnson up front, and then
right in the middle for Johnson. The ball seemed to float up there forever. Johnson, just the faintest of touches, able to just send that one back down.
And I stopped because I looked down at the other three players for California out there. 19, Carolyn Mercer, and Kay Lindenfelser.
Backs said, takes a nice friendly bounce off the net. Casey Smith able to get a point for Fighting Scots.
Yeah, kind of a unfortunate situation there for California. Kind of hit off the tape, and there was no chance for a block to happen. But California maintaining a 1-point lead.
16-15 the score. Harden, her serve. Dug out by Droneberger. Mercer straight up in the air. Droneberger able to get it over in 3. Set up on the outside. Blocked at the net by Muck. Fighting Scots reset. Nealons. Dug out by Johnson. Lindenfelser. And Muck able to get it over. Full attack from Smith. Blocked to the net by Droneberger. Fighting Scots continue to play on Nealons. Just too strong, and everything about her attack so far have been on point, strong, accurate, has been Michaela Nealons.
And it's been fun to watch the different hitters for these two teams. Definitely nobody's leaving anything at home.
An awkward play. The ball floated right around the net. The Vulcans have a chance to attack with Droneberger dug out by Nealons again, dug out by Lindenfelser. Johnson sets it up. It's going to be a carry. Johnson got too much of the hand on that one.
Well, they either called carry or Johnson into the front row of the Edinboro Fighting Scots as she had a little too much momentum going in, and Edinboro retakes the lead 17-16.
Harden serve. Dug out by Droneberger. Johnson with the back set to Johnson. Johnson and Johnson. Fighting Scots off the net. Another block that time by the Fighting Scots. Mercer able to get that one over. Nealons from out of bounds able to just send that one back over. Johnson sets it up for Droneberger. Nice diving play by Pry to keep it up. From the back row, blocked by Johnson. Fighting Scots with another kill attempt. That time, Nealons takes a nice, ends up going out of bounds.
Well, it's going to be California point. I don't know if they called a tip, or I thought initially that might have went off the antenna at a weird angle, but it's going to be a point California as now the officials are talking.
Yeah, Nealon's was convinced it came off of a Vulcan player and out of bounds. And after a discussion, the point remains California's. As things are all square now at 17.
That's one of the situations. I don't know if it would have been able to be overturned either way. As Coach Soboleski checking with her charges. California point, you got Allie Dronberger going back at 17-17 to serve.
Line drive serve dug out by the Fighting Scots. Smith off the fingertips of Dronberger, straight through her hands and out of play for the Fighting Scot point.
And that was a great attack at the back line. Dronberger coming up was kind of handcuffed on that save, set attempt, dig attempt, whatever you want to call it. And Burrow was only led by a maximum of 2 in this set, so California doing a great job to keep them in range.
Johnson on the outside for Muck, blocked at the net by Smith. Back-to-back points for her.
And Smith just closed down that angle so fast. There was nothing that California could do there.
Isaac serve. Dug out by Mercer. Set up in the middle for Johnson. And too strong for Isaacs to handle. Too hot to handle.
Too cold to hold. Got to call the Ghostbusters when you're in control.
Sophia Johnson continuing her dominant play so far in this game.
Carolyn Mercer going back to serve for the Vulcans, the left-hander.
Serve set up on the outside. Blocked at the net by Muck and Beer. Another kill attempt by Nealons. Dug out by Dronberger. Floating right around the net. Beer able to get that one over. Muck able to just hit that one over Nealons. With the free ball over. Johnson back set to Muck. Nice stuff by the Fighting Scots.
That was Nealons again, just getting the ability to just get a full swing at that, and there's nothing California could do. Almost put it through the block and down on the other side, so Edinboro now within 5 of closing out set 2.
Logan's able to dig that one out. Beer.
Carry.
Able to send that over. It's a violation against the Fighting Scots. Vulcan point.
What we're going to do this week, John, is we're going to watch YouTube and we're going to watch volleyball officials' signals, because everything in that play seemed like it was against California. Our director, Noah Turner, said she can help us, former volleyball star.
Superstar even.
Some would say superstar.
People are saying.
Yeah, that's what's on. She understood the assignment when she played volleyball.
She knew what she was up to. But the Vulcans catch a break, I guess. They're able to pick themselves up another point. Close it back to 19-20 the score.
As we were dealing with that situation, Edinboro was trying to plead for their case, but to no avail.
Yeah, fighting a losing battle. The Fighting Scots able to get that one over. Favada sets it up on the outside for Petrosevic. And no tip. That one too strong and out of play.
I think, again, we saw that it's a case of just the block for Edinboro was bearing down, and Petrosevic just basically had to go a little higher to get it around. That's going to be a timeout for Coach Emmerich. Excuse me. I said it wrong the first time whenever I did a voiceover. I'm going to say it wrong forever, but Audrey Emmerich in her first season, she's assisted by Elena Torres, a volunteer. Coming into this game for California team leaders, Allie Dronberger leading the team with 76 kills. Adriana Flavada, 169 assists. Morgan Johnson with 7 aces. Diggs, Caroline Mercer with 134. Sophia Johnson coming in with 55.0 blocks. And a stat that I'm not sure how it's calculated, but points, Sophia Johnson leading the team with 99.5 points.
And the Fighting Scots playing in 14 games compared to the California's 10, but Michaela Nealons coming into today's game with 226 kills and 263.5 points overall in the season. In 14 games, I mean, that's phenomenal pace for an entire season.
Yeah, if she keeps up, it might be very easy to see her on all conference teams, maybe all region teams, but definitely somebody to circle for the Edinboro Fighting Scots. We're back to action.
It's her serve dug out. Set up in the middle, Petrosevic. Another one too strong, just trying to find that back corner.
Yeah, back-to-back plays too strong for Petrosevic out of the timeout. So now Edinboro ahead by 3 and only needing 3 to close out set number 2.
19-22. Nealon's dug out by Petrosevic. Favada sets it up for Reguero. Blocked at the net, but Mercer and the Vulcans able to keep it up. Petrosevic again, this time able to get that one over. Harden takes a nice crack at it. Favada with the fake kill. Nice diving play by Pride to keep it up. And the Vulcans, with the great defensive efforts of their own, able to keep that one in, send it back over. Harden off of the net, off of Mercer, and onto the floor. Fighting Scott point.
And Carly Fry serving pancakes down there. The 5'5" senior from New Philadelphia kept that point alive, and now Edinboro has a chance to really put California in a bad spot here in set 2.
Favada sets it up for Reguero. Blocked at the net again. That time, Erica Lindquist, the leader in blocks for the Fighting Scots, sends that one back and gives Edinboro a chance at set point as Coach Emmerich and the Vulcans take their second timeout.
And Erica Lindquist, the grad student, 6'3", out of Ängelholm, Sweden. I believe that's about 7 hours ahead of us. So if any friends or family or relatives are watching in Ängelholm, Sweden, we're glad you could join us. Glad everybody can join us. A long day here at California, Pennsylvania, is football played. 49-7 win over the Gannon Golden Knights. Tennis had their senior day for their fall part of their season at 10 o'clock this morning. Men's and women's soccer are playing today up at Phillipsburg Soccer Complex. And right now, volleyball. So, again, go to calvulcans.com or follow Cal Vulcans on all your socials for up-to-date information. John Tape, I see you have scores.
I do have scores. Women's soccer versus the number 2 ranked Gannon Golden Knights ends in a 0-0 tie. And men's soccer, a 1-1 tie against the Westchester Golden Rams.
Let's go.
So, a decent pair of results for both of the soccer teams in this game. The Fighting Scots on set point here in set number 2. Set up in the middle for Lindquist, and she brings the boom and sends that one home. And the Fighting Scots tie things up at 1 set apiece, 25-19. The final score of set number 2. We're tied at 1 apiece. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back for set number 3 here on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1, and the PSAC Network. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Convocation Center as we get ready for set number 3 between the Edinboro Fighting Scots and the California Vulcans. The Vulcans took set number 1, 25-20. Edinboro taking set number 2, 25-19. As we get ready for, some would say, the most important set of the game, set number 3.
I would think everyone would say that, because if you win set number 2, you know what happens if you win a third set? The game is over. So it's very important. Also for momentum, I can't tell you how many times in the past we have seen, teams get to that second set win in set 3 and then just close it out with a big margin in set number 4.
Both teams switch sides once again. Edinboro going from right to left, California going from left to right. The Fighting Scots serve. Nice defensive plays by by California, able to keep it alive. Lindquist in the middle, set straight up, and beginning set number 3 like she ended set number 2 with a big emphatic hit.
Lindquist, like I said, 6'3". Just that's so tough to deal with.
I wish I was that tall.
I don't know if me and you end-to-end line up to 6'3".
Yeah, probably not, as it's Nealand, her serve. Ruggiero able to dig it out, but a bit awkward for the Vulcans as Dronberger with the free ball over. Set up for Nealands on the outside. A nice diving play that time by Mercer to keep it up. The Vulcans able to send it over. Block at the net by Dronberger, denying Lindquist pry. Free ball over. Mercer sets it up for Petrosevic. Takes a tip at the net. Edinboro continue along. Another great play by Favada to keep that one up. And the Vulcans send it over again. Set up in the middle for Lindquist, and too strong and out of play. California point off the back of some great defensive plays.
Unbelievable action right there. A couple pancakes for each team, and then just ability to California just keep the rally going and force Edinboro into an error, and California getting the point.
I mean, Favada took that one at 100 miles an hour and able to keep it up. Another block from Nealands, but that one ends up out of play. Edinboro point.
Yeah, just unfortunate as California had a chance at the block and then just got angled out of play.
2-1 to score. It's Nealand's serve. Too strong, smartly left by Mercer. She steps out of the way and watches that one fall out of play.
And Sophia Johnson checking back in for the Vulcans, and she'll rotate right to the front. Natalie Beer serving, so gotta like this rotation if you're California.
Beer serve. And a miss hit by Lindquist. She tried to just find the angle, but the aura of Johnson and Dronberger at the net is too much for her.
Yeah, Johnson kind of looked there like, no, that's not a good idea to go up against me right there.
Vulcans take a 3-2 lead. Harden gets that one over. And a whistle blown. I believe some sort of carry or a violation by the Vulcans ends up in a point for the Fighting Scots.
I tell you what, both teams matching up very equally. Neither team in that second set was able to get out to a big lead, and same thing here.
Prize serve right at the net, tipped up, and another whistle, and another point for Edinboro as Favada, with her back to the net, I think just grazed into it a little bit, maybe stepped her foot over the line.
Now the officials are talking right now.
And Favada is asking for an explanation from the chair ump, Coach Emmerich, and talking to the official on the far side, along with Dronberger. And now Dronberger asking questions of the head ump.
Yeah, I believe that only the captain can speak to the chair umpire. So Dronberger relaying questions and answers from the California bench. And they're still going to award the point to Edinboro, but not before a full inquiry by everybody.
Peer review studied its finish, and that's an ace for Carly Pry as her serve awkward for Dronberger, I believe, and ends up out of play.
John, I'm not sure. That might be the first ace of the game or one of the very few that we've had so far.
Yeah, both teams have Really been able to deal with the serve so far. A nice block at the net from Johnson, and that's how you get your team back into it. Denies Harden at the net.
Again, I'm not sure. I'm not a smart man. I don't know a lot about volleyball strategy, but if I'm Edinboro, I would tell the setters to set everywhere away from 1-6s. She has just been dominant right in the middle for California.
Morgan Johnson in to serve. Dug out nicely by the Fighting Scots. Set up in the middle. Smith just too awkward for Johnson as she's jumping up to try to deal with that one and ends up out of play.
That'll give Edinboro a 2-point lead, 6-4 here in set number 3.
Lainey Burns checks back in. The sophomore out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. In the back to serve. Dug out by Droneberger. Johnson set up the give and go to Droneberger. Dug out by Pry. Nealon's from the back row slices that one out of bounds.
California forcing an unforced error. They'll send Allie Droneberger back to serve. Again, you just got that feeling if California can get a few-point lead, they can maybe extend it, but both teams not allowing the other team out of their sight.
Droneberger serve dug out by Pry. Blocked at the net by Johnson again. Harden on the near side. Hits off of the antenna and out of bounds. California points. They tie things up here at 6.
Tied up at 6 right off the antenna. Easy call. Very easy because it was about 2 feet in front of the head referee, so no dispute there.
Droneberger serve. Dug out by Nealon. Set up in the middle for Smith. And Smith able to find some real estate on the back corner.
And Smith in this set really starting to assert herself as she's finding some space along the back row with her attacks.
The junior out of Meadville, Pennsylvania, picking up a couple crucial points here. The serve by Harden.
Oh, that's an ace. No.
Just misses that back corner. I mean, it has to be by less than an inch or two. The referee's right there, said it went out of bounds, but like you said, I thought it was going to be an ace. The serve sent over. Nice play right at the net by the Fighting Scots. That was Soboleski just able to hit that one over. 8-7.
I would say Soboleski getting her team another lead.
Fighting Scots serve. Set up on the outside for Petrosevic. Tipped at the net, dealt with by the Fighting Scots. Nealon's blocked at the net. That time it was Beer and Muck.
Yeah, Beer and Muck just closing it right down and almost using the antenna as the third defensive player. Is now Muck will check out in favor of Flavada, and Ruggiero will check in for Johnson. So Flavada will go back to serve.
8-8 the score. Good job by ball boy Braxton Turner giving Flavada the ball to serve down there.
You can't teach what he's bringing to the sideline there, right there. Very, very, very good is Braxton down there.
Some people have it, and he does. There's another block on the kill attempt by Nealon's, but great play by Pride to keep it up. Set up in the middle for Ruggiero, charging it from the back row. Another block by Petrosevic, but that time ends up out of bounds.
And checking in for Edinboro once again will be Lindquist. And this will be interesting because you have Lindquist in there and you have Johnson who rotated out, so definitely a height advantage on the front in favor of the Scots.
Soboleski's serve. It's going to be another ace as it ends up. The Vulcans hit one hit over and ends up out of bounds and out of play.
And the service game for Edinboro in set number 3 has really started coming alive. We've seen a couple aces and a couple service winners for the Fighting Scots.
Abigail Soboleski, her serve dug out by Droneberger. Set up on the outside for Ruggiero. Able to get that one out, dug out by Pry. Nealon's on the near side. The Vulcans able to take the sting out of it. The tip of the net set up for Petrosevic. Takes a tip at the net. Set up in the middle for Lindquist. And, I mean, there's nothing anybody can do about that. Another point for Lindquist.
John Sape, let me ask you a question. Honest question. Would you willingly try and get in front of that ball with Lindquist coming down in front of it?
No.
I mean, that was just a fastball down the middle and right by everybody.
Yeah, I got a lot to live for. I don't know if I can I don't know if I'm laying out for that one. As Lindquist gets a block on Ruggiero's kill attempt. Petrosevic able to send that one over. Price sets it up for Nealons, and Nealons gets her kill attempt blocked by Beer. Nealons again, that time able to get that one over. Favada sets it up. Petrosevic, free ball over. Fighting Scots with their biggest lead of the third set. Dronberger, somehow Ruggiero able to get that one over in two. Nealons again. Vulcan's able to tip it once more. Ruggiero at the net. Her kill attempt blocked by Nealons. A nice diving play by Petrosevic to keep it up. And once again, it's Lindquist with the hammer of Thor, just sending that one home. And Coach Emmerich and the Vulcans are going to take a timeout. Edinboro with their biggest lead of the third set, 12-8 the score.
And again, give California credit. I mean, Ruggiero just getting 3 or 4 hands on that from weird angles to keep it in play, but Edinboro eventually getting the point. And John's sake, picture this. You're walking into a room, your laptop's there, you have an open browser, and you want to go to YouTube. What's the YouTube page you would go to first?
CUTV Sports 1.
And what kind of programming can you see on CUTV Sports 1?
Oh, there's so many things you can watch. You can watch all of these great games that maybe you're watching right now on CUTV Sports 1. We got other great shows such as the Gary Dunn Show, hosted by you and
yeah,
Gary
the
Dunn.
and Gary Show.
The Gary and Gary in the morning, as well as WRS. We got some interviews as well on there. Everything that you could ever want and more on CUTV Sports 1 on YouTube. Check it out.
And maybe later we'll get a new SAPE on the street, and you can tell us everything you have to live for. You're very confident that you had stuff going on in your future that you didn't want to get in front of that dig attempt. So everyone back home wants to hear about it, and we also want to hear about some points here for California as they're coming in off the timeout to try and stop the run for the Fighting Scots.
It's Nealons back to serve. Dug out by Dronberger. Favada sets up on the outside for Ruggiero. Her kill attempt just able to find the back line, and everybody on the Edinboro side disagrees with the call, but the Vulcans will take it. (12-9) the score now. California battling back. Lindenfelser, her serve. Dug out by Pry. Set up in the middle for Lindquist again. I mean, it's bread and butter. They continue to do it time and time again. There's nothing the Vulcans can do to stop it.
Again, I think this is a little bit of Lindquist just being very good in the middle, and also California not being able to have anybody rotated there to kind of go up against her. So if she's getting a good set, she's going to get a good swing against California.
A block at the net, that time by Harden, denying Ruggiero as the Vulcans able to get that one over. Set up on the outside, this time for Harden. Takes a tip at the net. The Vulcans able to play with it. Blocked again by Lindquist. And a couple of straight hands, the Vulcans able to get it up and over. Set up in the middle for Lindquist again. That time taking an alternate route, just tipping it over. Set up for Dronberger on the outside. Her attempt stifled. Sent over by Harden. Ruggiero able to get it up. Mercer sets it up for Dronberger again. That time another great rally going here between both of these teams. Harden sends it over. Favada to Mercer. Set up for Ruggiero that time. Dug out easily by the Fighting Scots. Set up for Harden. Dronberger sends that one high in the air. Lindenfelser able to get it to Mercer, and Mercer somehow able to get it over from her own bench. Set up on the outside this time for Harden. Nice play by Mercer to keep it up. Back set from Favada to Ruggiero and Pry. And the Fighting Scots continue, and it all ends very abruptly by a miss hit by Harden.
Great rally for both teams. Some good defense, some good passing, and checking back in for California will now be Sophia Johnson. She will offer a little bit of resistance against that front line for Edinboro.
The serve by Beer. 10-13 the score. Lindquist gets that one over. Favada sets it up in the middle for Johnson. And Johnson slices that one out of play.
And Johnson was affected by the block attempt from Lindquist and tried to get the angle on the far side and was unable to do it. And Edinboro now retakes their 4-point lead.
Prize serve. Dug out by Dronberger. Favada in the middle. Back set for Ruggiero. Ruggiero blocked at the net that time by Harden, but the Vulcans were convinced that they could continue to play on, but the whistle blown. Ball hit the floor. Edinboro point.
Yeah, I think Coach Emmerich was saying that maybe they got a pancake on it, but everyone looking at the chair umpire, and it will be Edinboro serve.
Prize serve. Dug out that time by Lindenfelser. Vulcans free ball over. Tip of the net. Nice diving effort once again by Lindenfelser. Ruggiero sends that one over. Pry. Back set. Harden able to get that one over. Favada in the middle for Johnson and doing what they do best.
Johnson hit right at Michaela Nealons, and Nealons had no opportunity to return that or dig that. And as we have substitutions for California, Muck coming back in, and also going back to serve will be Morgan Johnson. Sitting down, I believe, was Flavada and Ruggiero.
15-11 the score. Edinboro with the lead. Johnson serve. Dug up. Smith blocked by Johnson. Back-to-back points for Sophia Johnson.
That may be the most gentle block Sophia Johnson will get credit for all years. Fingertips straight down. Had a nice little soft landing for a California point.
Not all blocks are created equally. They come in all shapes and sizes, and Johnson will take it. The kill attempt, that time by Lindquist.
Tip.
Takes a tip at the net and out of play. I mean, I don't know what they're feeding the Swedes, but she has one heck of an arm.
Man, she's doing it from different positions. She's doing it from the middle, and she's doing it from the sides, and she'll rotate out, but this is a chance for California maybe to take advantage with her on the bench and maybe pull into this 4-point lead a little bit.
Johnson, nice effort, but that time by Johnson, just placing it over top of Pride. Pride, 5'5", did everything she could to jump up for it, but Johnson able to find that back corner.
And that might be Johnson's softest kill attempt of the year. She just floated it, and I'd say floated over the top of everybody into that back corner. So great effort by Sophia Johnson, and California pulls within 3.
That was the Tony Parker teardrop floater right there. Somehow the Fighting Scots are able to deal with that serve from Dronberger. Petrosevic able to send that one over for the Vulcans. Set up on the outside for Harden. Her kill attempt blocked by Johnson. Free ball over. Nice diving effort by Dronberger to keep it up. Mercer able to send it over for the Vulcans. Mercer, nice diving effort. Petrosevic just misses the back end of the court on her kill attempt. Edinboro point.
And that's unfortunate for Petrosevic. Early in that rally, she had to get a ball around the antenna, and we had a good angle, and I don't know how she was able to matrix it around that antenna. That shows you a little bit of an age when they're the matrix. That hasn't been relevant in 25 years. But unfortunately, California gave up the point.
Johnson sets it up for Petrosevic. Takes a tip at the net. Fighting Scots continue to play. Nealon. Her kill attempt dug out by Dronberger. And Ali able to send that one over. Thought maybe it was going to go out, but the Fighting Scots play on. Nealon's straight into the net. California point is a miss hit from Nealon's, which is not something we've said pretty much at all today.
Yeah, I think it hit right into the corner of the antenna and where the net came in. So California 17-14. And you have Beers checking back in for Sophia Johnson. Going back to serve for the Vulcans is Caroline Mercer.
Softball serves. Dug out by the Fighting Scots. Nealon's that time. She rights her wrongs, and Dronberger tried, but too strong by Nealon's.
We said give Edinboro a lot of stars, credit, whatever you want to say. They are doing a great job of setting it in a place where their hitters can just come down, as I jinxed them right there with a service error. But they're doing a great job just getting the sets in places where their hitters can be most effective.
Yeah, I wish we had some sort of radar gun or something to see the speed and the velocity of these hits, because
Braxton's down there. We can text him to download one off his phone real quick, and he can relay the information back up to us.
I feel like they're hitting triple digits between Nealon's and Lindquist. They've been absolutely killing the ball. As another attempt by Nealon's. Somehow Pavada able to keep it up. Nealon's again. That time Mercer able to get a hand on it, and the Vulcans able to send it over. Third attempt by Nealon's that time. A bit gentler. Pavada sets it up in the middle for Beer, and Beer able to just place it in an awkward spot for Burns, and Burns can't get a hand on it.
Yeah, Beer, really graceful play there. She had a little drop step pirouette there and found the ball right on her forearm, and she put it right down for a California point. California back within 2.
Pavada serve dug out by Nealon. Set up now for Nealon's again. Watch out, as that one just misses the back line, out of play. And the Vulcans, who are down by about 5, has brought it back to a 1-point gain, 18-17, as Coach Soboleski and the Fighting Scots take their first timeout.
And I think both coaches are feeling like this, like as we said at the beginning of the set, this is a pivotal set. Both teams tied at 1 right now. If you get up 2-1, sometimes that just, mentally, emotionally, that means the fourth set is just going to be – it's tough to fight back. And I think both teams know that as tough as the PSAC West is, this is a game you have to win. If you look around the PSAC, Gannon is very, very good. Clarion, very, very good. Seton Hill back on the rise. IEP, very good. Edinboro and California and Slippery Rock all kind of in that same level, looking to rise up. And Mercyhurst, who was probably one of the bottom teams in the PSAC now, will be playing Division I as they moved up. So, again, I think California and Edinboro both feeling that if you can get a win, steal a win here, maybe steal a couple more wins down, you can get in postseason contention.
And it seems like they've already played 10 games for California coming into today's game, 14 for Edinboro. Only one conference game, and the conference games are really the ones that matter the most. So both teams still looking for their first win as Neelan's able to send that one over. Favada sets it up for Petrosevic. And taking an awkward bounce at the net. I believe it was Lindquist who tried to block it. And it was awkwardly dealt with that time by Neelan's, and the Vulcans able to tie things up at 18.
And Petrosevic kind of played a little bit of magician right there. She kind of looked to the left, and all the team, the Edinboro front line rotated and got the point for California.
Ball floating in and around the net. Neelan's able to get it over for the Fighting Scots. Favada fakes the set straight into no man's land, and everybody on Edinboro wasn't ready for it. Great heads-up play by Adriana Favada.
Favada just finding about a 10-foot by 10-foot spot of open Convocation center floor and gets California the lead.
Her serve dug out by Pry. Set up for Neelan's. Her kill attempt almost blocked at the net by Beer and Ruggiero, but once again, way too strong.
And once again, checking in for Edinboro is Lindquist. So this is a rotation that, if you're a Fighting Scott fan, you're going to have Lindquist up front for a little bit here, tied up at 19. This is, as we see, Droneberger coming over to talk to the head official. Gives the thumbs up and a smile, so the issue must not have been too egregious. I got the word egregious from the John Sape word of the day calendar.
Yeah, that was my word of the day 3 days ago, so you got to catch up. As Ruggiero, her kill attempt dealt with. Neelan's again, and Neelan's able to find some space. It was Mercer diving to her right. Just great placement that time by Neelan's.
It seems like this entire set has been Neelan's and Lindquist, just off that left side in the middle, and Edinboro now taking a 1-point lead within 5 here in set number 3.
Soboleski's serve. Dug out by Droneberger. Favada in the middle, sets it up for Beer. Great job by Pry to keep it up. Neelan's again. And another great placement from Neelan's. Has taken the power out of the last couple of hits, but has replaced it with excellent placement.
That's a 2-point lead now for Edinboro, and it's getting to that point that if you start trading points, California's going to run out of points right now. So very important as there's a pause in the action for some condensation. Again, warm day here in western Pennsylvania. Humid, not really warm. It's comfortable, but with the air conditioning on and the heat of the players, there's going to be some condensation building up on the floor.
Favada sets it up for Petrosevic. Great job by Price. Sends that one about 50 feet in the air. Neelan's, her kill attempt. Droneberger dove for it, and Ruggiero thought about jumping into the crowd, and another point by Neelan's and the Fighting Scots, starting to pull away with it here at the end of set 3.
And I thought Pete Ware, our campus minister, was going to have to be a hero down there as Ruggiero going full out trying to get to the ball, almost dove into the crowd, but to no avail.
Soboleski, her serve. Favada gets it up to Ruggiero, right into the face of Soboleski. And the Fighting Scots able to get it over. Petrosevic, mishit, way too strong. And the Vulcans will take another timeout. Edinboro pulling away, 19-23 the score.
Again, I think that was more of an error, not so much a hitting error, but a tattoo error, because Edinboro was coming right down on that block with Lindquist, and you don't want to hit it into him, so you got the inclination is to hit it high, and you run out of real estate if you hit it high, shoot it with a lot of power. So Edinboro leading 23-19, set 3, best out of 5. here at the Convocation Center. CUTV Sports 1 has several events coming up this week. Wednesday evening from the Phillipsburg Soccer Complex, California versus IUP Women's Soccer. Next Saturday, volleyball here from the Convocation Center. The Vulcan football team will be at Clarion. Still need to see if we have the ability to go there with split crews and all of that.
Yeah, this
when
next
they
week.
When they put games at the same time, makes it very tough for coverage.
Next Saturday is another loaded day. Shout out! I feel bad for Mr. Kiefer and the Sports Info Department. 8 events next Saturday: women's golf, women's tennis, men's soccer, volleyball here against Slippery Rock, women's soccer, men's cross country, women's cross country, and football all on the same day. It's a if you're a sports fan, check out next Saturday. Hear everything for the California Vulcans as Vergara, her kill attempt, too strong in the middle. Lindquist tried to get a block on it, and that's what the Vulcans need. They just need a little bit of momentum.
And Vergara is so effective when she's able to get that set right at the net. Sometimes she's set a little bit further back, has to hit more of a roll shot, but when she can get that set right at the net and get in full balance with her swing, it's a thing of beauty.
Lindquist able to hit that one over. Pavada sets up on the outside for Droneberger. That dig high in the air. Nealons free ball over Vergara. Pavada now. Droneberger again just tips it over. Nice diving play by Nealons to get it up. And the Fighting Scots send it over. Back set to Vergara. And another great dig by the back row of the Fighting Scots. Nealons sends it over. Pavada spinning. Able to keep it up in the air. Droneberger sends it over. The Fighting Scots reset. Nealons again. Nice dig again from Pavada. Vergara takes a tip. Nice diving effort to her left. Nealons sends it over.
Long rally here.
Droneberger trying to find that back corner and a little bit too strong. Fighting Scots on set point.
Great rally. Both back lines doing a great job just getting the digs down. Pavada took a dig pretty much on a shot that should have been a point, kept the rally going.
Nealons her serve. Droneberger deals with the serve awkwardly, but Lindenfelser and the Vulcans send it over. Set up in the middle for Lindquist. Blocked at the net by Droneberger. They try to end off set 3 as the same way they ended set 2, but that time Droneberger sent it back home.
And Droneberger hung in the air like Michael Jordan in the early 90s. She jumped early, but she just kind of hung there, and the shot ran into her hands and a block in California with momentum.
24-21, and that's an ace for Beer. Her serve, and it was Hoyt in the back row with a miss hit, and Edinboro take a timeout. Coach Soboleski takes a timeout. California down by 2 now, 24-22 the score.
And I think Coach Soboleski was up off the bench asking for timeout as soon as that serve contacted. Just wants to tell her team, you have a 2-point lead. You're on set point. Make California beat you. Get it in the other side of the court. Make them make plays. And we've seen long rallies tend to favor Edinboro in this game. So California, on the other hand, you're saying, hey, keep it in their side of the court. Make them make the mistakes. Make them feel the pressure. Again, you got to win by 2, so California needs 2 straight off of their serves right now with Beer to extend this past the 25-point limit in set number 3.
Yeah, watching these long rallies back and forth makes me appreciate all of the work these athletes put in, because I'm tired just from watching it. I couldn't even imagine being out there trying to continue to make the plays as Beer serve. Dug out by Harden, set up on the outside now for Harden. Her kill attempt blocked, but great job by Droneberger to send it over. Lindquist in the middle. Very anticlimactically able to find some home on the Vulcan side, and Edinboro takes set number 3, 25-22. And after a back and forth affair, Edinboro take a 2-1 lead. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on CTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Network. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Convocation Center as we get ready for set number 4 between the California Vulcans and the Edinboro Fighting Scots. The Vulcans took the first set 25-20, but Edinboro rallied to take 2 straight sets, 25-19 and then 25-22 in set number 3. And it's been a heck of a lot of Michaela Nealon. She has been all over the place here for the Fighting Scots. Her and Erica Lindquist have been just lights out for the Fighting Scots in this game. Just delivering a ton of powerful shots. Shout out to our good friend Nate Kurtz and my good friend Miss Peyton Reese. Allegedly supposed to be on a date right now, spending their quality time here at the Convocation Center as we get ready for set number 4 between California and Edinboro. Vulcans have a slew of upcoming home matches here for the volleyball team after today's game against Edinboro. 4 straight home games against Seton Hill on the 4th, Slippery Rock on the 5th, IUP on the 11th, and UPJ on the 12th. So the Vulcans are going to be pretty comfortable here at home. Don't have to travel for a couple of weeks. Would like to start off this home stretch of PSAC games with a win here. They got to battle back to do so. 2-1. Edinboro with the lead. Favada starting us off for set number 4. Her serve dugout and sent over. That time Nealon's just beautiful effort, just leaping in the air like a gazelle. And with the faintest of touches, is able to get Edinboro the point. Fighting Scots on the board first, and after her point, and Nealon's is back to serve. Nice effort by Dronberger, ranging to her left. Petrosevic with a strong kill attempt, dug out nicely by the Fighting Scots. Favada now in the middle for Johnson, able to get a hand on it and send it over. Harden on the outside. Dronberger flashing the hands in the back, able to keep it up. Petrosevic with a nice looping hit, able to send it over. Harden on the far side, too strong, and sends that one out of play. And the Vulcans with some great defensive efforts in this game. And that said, it was in that rally. It was Dronberger. Things all tied out at 1 now. Lindenfelser. Dug out by Pry. Set up in the middle for Lindquist. Lindenfelser right there. Dronberger, her kill attempt blocked at the net by Lindquist. We've said it time and time again in this game. Standing at 6'3". I don't know what they're feeding the Swedes over there, but she has been an absolute thorn in the back of the Vulcans in this game. It's going to be Carly Pry back to serve. And the Vulcans smartly watch that one out of play. An error on the side of the Fighting Scots. Gives a point straight back over to the Vulcans, 2-2 now. Caroline Mercer back to serve here for the Vulcans. Libero sets it up. Smith able to send that one over. Bit of an awkward hit. And the Vulcans deal with it. Mercer sends that one over. Tip at the net. Dronberger with one hand, able to keep it up. Ruggiero sends that one over. Dug out by Soboleski. Blocked at the net that time by Beer. Another kill attempt dug out nicely by Lindenfelser, ranging to her right. Another tip at the net, that time by Beer. Favada, back set. Ruggiero slices the hit and comes off of the hands of Lindquist out of play. And after another long rally, a point to California. Double substitution for the Vulcans. Morgan Johnson and Lexi Muck check back into the game here for the Vulcans. Will be Johnson back to serve. Vulcans with a 3-2 lead here in set number 4. Both teams still looking for their first win in conference play. I'm not quite sure what the stoppage in play is at the moment. Maybe looking at some sort of rotation problem, as now the official on the far side has called over Coach Emmerich. And Johnson got substituted in and went back to serve, but now the ball is in the hands of Caroline Mercer. And there has to be some sort of rotational issue here from the Vulcans. The official on the far side is what the scorekeepers just trying to get this mess sorted out. And still waiting for an official start. As now the official is talking to Coach Soboleski on the far side. And it looks like Muck will come back into the game. And again, now the officials are having a word with each other. The Vulcans have made a mess of this fourth set so far. Something has gone wrong, and now the official going back over to talk to Coach Soboleski on the far side. Referee blows the whistle, and Mercer with the serve now continues on. Dug out by Pry. Sent over by Smith. Dronberger on the near side, blocked. Mercer with a hand to keep it up. And Dronberger with a fleeting punch, just not able to connect with it. And after all that, it ends up an Edinboro point. 3-3 to score. Lainey Burns checks back into the game here for the Fighting Scots. And is now back to serve. Dug out by Lindenfelser. Johnson with the set. Johnson with the carry. So another misplay by the Vulcans ends up in an Edinboro point. 4-3 to score. Burns, her serve. Dug out by Mercer. Now set up for Dronberger. Just sets it over. Great placement by Allie Dronberger, catching everybody on the Edinboro side off guard. And able to tie things up here for the Vulcans, 4-4. And after that whole entire controversy, Morgan Johnson is now finally back to serve. And that's an ace for Johnson. I think rightfully deserved after everything that transpired a couple of points ago. An ace for Morgan Johnson. The Vulcans with a 5-4 lead here in set number 4. Johnson, her serve dug out. Set up in the middle, blocked at the net that time by Dronberger. Great defensive plays by the Vulcans all afternoon. Her and Beer in the middle, linking up. 6-4 now the score. Johnson serve. Set up on the outside for Harden. Nice play by Lindenfelser. Diving to her left. Dronberger sends that one over. Dug out by Pry. Set up for Harden. Mercer able to keep this one up. The Vulcans able to keep it alive. And Dronberger with maybe the easiest point as you could like, as the Fighting Scots thought it was going to go out of play, just falls straight on the line. California point. And after all that, the Fighting Scots will take a timeout. The Vulcans with a 3-point lead, 7-4.
Yeah, good start for California, getting off to a 7-4 lead, 3-point advantage. And I tell you, when that last play, John, Dronberger just finding some empty space in the back, and she might be one of the most effective players just finding placement for that free ball in the back line. So definitely good to see that getting the point. I'm out of breath. I just walked all the way from the bottom of the Convocation Center to the top. So forgot we had 5 elevators in the building, so just let me catch my breath. But full day of action here at California, 5 events. Tennis Senior Day at 10 o'clock this morning. Vulcan football, big win, 49-7 over the Gannon Golden Knights.
Couple of ties.
Couple of ties in soccer.
I mean, the women's soccer, very impressive. Gannon, the Golden Knights of Gannon, their women's team ranked second in the country. The Vulcans able to get a 1-1 tie in that game.
And you'll be able to see the Vulcan women's soccer team this Wednesday night under the lights at Phillipsburg Soccer Complex, 6 o'clock. CUTV Sports will be there against the IUP Crimson Hawks, which I think I just said, but again, I'm losing consciousness due to walking. I'm sorry.
Johnson's serve somehow dealt with by the Fighting Scots. Set up on the outside for Dronberger, takes a tip of the net. Great jumping effort by Pride to keep it up. And a free ball over from Edinboro. Set up in the middle for Beer, who just punches that one over. Set up on the outside for Harden, dug out by Mercer. Set up now for Dronberger, and that time Burns able to keep this one in play. Harden again just tips that one over, dug out by Johnson. Mercer back set for Dronberger, just looping, trying to find that back corner, but too strong.
Dronberger looking for a little top spin on that and just kind of floated. And Burrow out of that timeout will get within 2.
7-5 the score. Harden back to serve for the Fighting Scots. Dug out by Lindenfelser. Set up in the middle for Muck. And Muck with a strong attempt just misses the back line.
And Muck, I tell you what, she didn't miss that by more than maybe 2 or 3 inches, as she had a real good beat on that back line. But unfortunate for California, Edinboro draws back within 1.
It's Harden back to serve. That was awkwardly by Lindenfelser, but able to get it up, and Mercer able to send it over. Back set. The kill attempt, that time from Smith, takes a deflection off of a Vulcan player and out of bounds.
Smith doing a great job just being able to cut that ball into the block and just deflect it off. And there's nothing you can do if you're a defensive player. You just got to tip your cap and say great play and move on.
Serve dealt with by Lindenfelser. Dronberger trying to go for that placement. She did it earlier on, just able to just float that one over onto the far side, but just couldn't get enough on it that time.
Checking in for the Vulcans is Courtney Smith, a 6'0 freshman from Ephrata, PA, and she will rotate to the left side here. Near side as you're watching on TV.
Some miscommunication, but the Vulcans able to get it over. Nealon, her kill attempt blocked by Muck. Second chance for Nealon. That time Mercer with a hand on it. And a whistle blown. Edinboro point.
Edinboro point, but I tell you what, give Mercer credit for not only digging that, but also angling it back to the middle where Edinboro was forced to make a play. Unfortunately, away from that was an infraction and a point Borough.
And after that timeout, Edinboro hot out of the gates. And the set that time from Johnson too far out of the reach of Smith. And the Vulcans, who were up by 3, are now down by 3 as Edinboro.
I believe that's a 6-0 run for the Fighting Scots. But, John, we've asked some questions, hard-hitting questions, but we're going to ask you another one. If you're a local theater enthusiast and wanted to see about an hour show, comedy featuring clowns and possibly featuring you, what would you tell them?
I'd say check out Clown Bar in the inside of Steel Hall on the main stage, October 24th, 25th, and 26th for a great show. I mean, I don't have rehearsal today. I'm grateful because it's been a long week, but it's coming along very well. And
you're one of the leads in the play. What part are you playing?
That's for you to find out.
Oh, I like that. A little tease. I know I will see it, but make sure you check out the Penn West California Theater page on Facebook. I know they always update with information about where to get tickets, go to the box office. It's going to be a fun show. Looking forward to seeing it. And I will say this, John Sape's wearing a cowboy hat. I do know that.
Yeah, I think even earlier than that, October 12th and 13th, I believe, the first-year experience happening at the Blaney Theater. Check out, like you said, the Cal Theater Facebook for more information, as that time it was Smith with a hard-hitting kill for Edinboro.
That kill attempt, if that was a play, it would have been a one act, as there was no way anybody was going to get a touch that. And checking in for the first time today for California will be Ashlyn Brookover, the 5'10 junior from Smithfield, Ohio. She will rotate in, so kind of a new look for California out on the court right now.
Brook over her set attempt. That time for Courtney Smith, and somehow Edinboro is able to send that one over. Smith again. Dealt with by the Fighting Scots. Set up in the middle. Brook over, able to get a hand on it. Courtney Smith, a third chance at it, and takes a friendly bounce off of the net and finds its home on the far side of the court for the California point.
Courtney Smith, great job of elevating and cutting the angle down to find the near side of the court on the far side from there, but the part of the court closest to the net, just gets the angle, gets the point, and will rotate back and get the serve.
Smith serve, dug out by Pry. Nealons gets a hand on it, sends it over. Brookover, back set. Muck blocked at the net. Brookover with a nice defensive hand, able to keep it up. Set up on the outside for Nealons again, and good night.
God bless Courtney Smith for even trying for that. That ball was coming out hard and fast. Did everything she could, but unless she was in the perfect position, there was no way she was getting to that. So
yeah, once it's set up like that, a point is almost a formality for the Fighting Scots. Dug out by Mercer. Brookover set it up in the middle for Beer. Nice back row dig and a free ball over. And the Vulcans smartly just let that one float out of play.
I think California would got that point regardless, as there were 3 Fighting Scots tangled around the 10-foot. I believe it's the 10-foot line, might be the 7-foot line. I just hope it's not measured in metric because we'll never figure it out. But California getting a big point to stop a run.
Yeah, the metric system isn't real. As Nealons, Hercule attempt blocked the net by Muck. Johnson checked back into the game, and the hit over just awkwardly off the arms of Courtney Smith and ends up all the way in the back of the gymnasium.
Yeah, I think that kill attempt caught her kind of moving the other direction. She kind of reached behind it and just deflected behind her. Good effort, but unfortunately Edinboro is on a 9-1 run.
13-9 the score. Sobolewski's serve set up for Petrosevic. Able to get that one over. Nealons blocked at the net. That time Muck and Johnson able to send that one back.
And Muck will check out in favor of Flavata, and looks like also checking out will be Brookover in favor of Reguero. So you got Flavata back there. Again, we've said she is a very steady presence on the service line for California, so see if they can cut in and possibly get a few points. Some substitutions now for Edinboro as well, as they're getting the substitutions checked in on the far side.
Flavata back to serve. Dug out by the Fighting Scots, set up in the middle, and a miss hit. Lindquist, I mean, we've seen that set up all game long, but that time just off the mark.
And that just proves she's human and not a robot. That's the first misplay I think she's had all game in California. After hitting the ropes a little bit now, pulling back within 2.
Nice effort to keep Flavata's serve from being an ace. And the Fighting Scots able to get it over. Set up on the outside for Petrosevic. Takes a tip. But the Fighting Scots play on. Tipped at the net by Johnson. But the Vulcans can play. Reguero, her kill attempt. Way out. And
I think the California has a valid concern there. As Reguero said, it went off. I think it might have, so they're saying it might have went off ahead of one of the Edinboro players for a tip, but both officials saying no. But instantly, as soon as that play happened, Reguero and Coach Emmerich were right there talking to the official.
I'm going to give a quick shout out to Miss Zoe Belknap for tuning in from Leuven, Belgium, watching this afternoon's contest. It's currently almost 1 a.m. there in Belgium. She just texted me and said we were having a good job, as Petrosevic able to find a home for that kill. And the Vulcans not going away.
So our numbers are up in Belgium right now. So hello, Zoe. I've been trying to keep an eye on John as much as I can. You know, he wanders around. You know, he gets with JJ and Nate. They run around like little puppies. So we'll do what we can. We'll keep an eye on them, and hopefully we'll keep an eye on a Vulcan comeback here in set number 4.
Lindenfelser in to serve. Dug out by Pry. Set up in the middle for Lindquist. Nice diving effort by Flavata. Reguero sends it back over. Kill attempt on the far side by Parent. Nice diving play by Favada again, all over the court, just running around. Lindquist in the middle, blocked by Smith. Set up on the outside, another block by Smith.
And that is an effort play. Adriana Favada going side to side with dig attempts, and then California, the front line. Sophia Johnson and Liz Ruggiero getting the block, getting the kill, and California with a big momentum play there.
And you talk about things that won't show up on the stat sheet. That point doesn't happen without Favada. As Mercer able to take the sting out of it, and the Vulcans able to get it over somehow off of that kill attempt by Lindquist. In the middle again for her, and it takes a nice friendly tip off of Sophia Johnson's hands and out of play.
So we can change the sign. Says it's been this many points since Lindquist has had an error, because she was not going to have a second straight kill attempt go off her fingertips and unsuccessful. So Edinboro regains a 2-point lead.
Prize serve dealt with by Mercer. Back set from Favada to Ruggiero. And Ruggiero just trying to find the angle. And that time Pry smartly lets that one fall out of play.
So Edinboro now 16-13.
Prize serve dug out by Mercer. Favada. Johnson just misses the back corner. It's a game of inches here for the Vulcans, as a couple of kill attempts in a row narrowly missing that far corner.
And again, California asking for a tip, none given, and Edinboro quickly trying to keep that momentum and serving quickly.
Favada sets it up for Johnson again, and that time she doesn't miss. Sophia Johnson able to get another crack at it and gets the Vulcans back to within 3.
Listen, you don't tug on Superman's cape, and you don't give Sophia Johnson 2 chances back-to-back, because one of them is going to go down. She's not going to miss 2 in a row.
Mercer serve. Dug out, set up on the outside for Parent. Dug out by Lindenfelser. In and around the net. Wow. And I thought maybe Smith is able to keep it up. It's awkward, but it's going to end up being a point for Edinboro.
Yeah, very quiet call there. Both officials kind of conferring across. Now, I believe the officials can talk to one another through a wireless communication. Don't know if they can do it during the play, but they both said 4 hits and point for Borough.
Lainey Burns back to serve. Dug out by Lyndon Felser. Set up on the outside for Smith. Smith too strong once again, just trying to find that back corner.
You know, California not getting a lot of success there, but man, you got it's a matter of inches. Like, they easily could be ahead in this game 19-14, or this set 19-14.
Lyndon Felser digs it out. Set up for Smith again. Nice effort by the Fighting Scots to keep it up. Parent, her kill attempt blocked at the net by Ruggiero. Another block, that time by Beer. Third chance, a kill from the back row, dug out by Favada. Mercer sets it up for Smith. Smith able to get that one over. And a whistle blown and a point for the Vulcans.
Point Vulcans, some substitutions now. Muck will come back in, as well as Brookhaver will sit down Favada and Ruggiero. And Brookhaver will go back to serve.
And if you're the Vulcans, you need to go on a run, and that run needs to start now. You're down by 4. 15-19 is the score. Ashlyn Brookover back to serve for California. Her serve dug out by Pry. Backside, Smith blocked. Smith on Smith crime. And in and around the net, and the tip by Muck just goes out of bounds in favor of the Fighting Scots.
Some subs now for Edinboro. Checking back in for the Fighting Scots will be Jessica Harden. She will rotate back, and sitting down was Riley Parent, freshman from Euclid, Ohio. Euclid, Ohio, the hometown of our good friend, former quarterback and current wide receivers coach, Noah Mitchell.
The serve dug out by Smith. Her kill attempt takes a tip off of a Fighting Scot hand out of play. California point, and they needed it.
And we're seeing Smith really getting aggressive with her kill attempts. And that's just kind of the maturation freshman year, starting to feel a little bit better being a part of that team and getting some playing time and making the most of it.
And after her point, she's back to serve. And that's an ace for the Vulcans, as some miscommunication between Pry and Harden as they kind of just run into each other. And that's another point for the Vulcans, and could be a real momentum shifter.
Yeah, California not out of this yet. Momentum on their side. Another 2 points would be great, though, for California.
Dealt with awkwardly again, but somehow the Fighting Scots able to get it over. Petrosevic, her kill attempt dug out. Free ball from the back row. Brookover. Muck able to just tip that one over. Set up on the outside for Nealons. Brookover Mercer. Petrosevic at the net. Her kill attempt dug out. Set up for Nealon's on the outside, and Nealon's accurate pinpoint. Another point for Edinboro.
And, John, how many times have we just said that? Nealon's or Lindquist for Edinboro, just stopping rallies for California, checking in for the Fighting Scots. Emma Hoyt. So a lot of height now, 6'0", 6'0".
Beer, nice, strong attempt, but just misses. Again, narrow margins in this game. Just set up for her on a silver platter.
Yeah, Beer just misses the near side. The official on the near side, right on it, didn't hesitate. And you got to give the officials credit and thanks that, you know, sometimes as fans, we're a little critical, but without them and their hard work and their dedication and their sacrifice of officiating, there would be no games. We'd be up here just yelling stuff with no rhyme or reason.
I mean, I feel like sometimes we do that anyway.
That's very true. But once again, we have a moment. I'd like to thank our hardworking crew today. 2 full shoots, multiple cameras. Went from Adamson Stadium today at 9:30. In this game, the doubleheader will end probably around, I don't have a clock. It might be midnight. It's actually 7 o'clock, which means it's 2 o'clock in Belgium.
It's 1 a.m.
1 a.m. in
1
Belgium.
a.m.
I hope Zoe is taking the CalVulcans.com feed or the CTV1 feed and going around the town of Belgium and spreading the good word.
I've told her that she has to show everyone.
Excellent. Good.
She has to make everyone see it.
Next game, John Sape will learn some Belgium and say hi to the people in Belgium.
The serve from the Fighting Scots, dug out by Mercer. Broke over. Sets up Petrosevic. Nice diving effort, but too much. There's a couple of diving plays, and now it was Smith with the second attempt, just couldn't keep it up.
Petrosevic, a little quiet in this set, but overall, very good afternoon for the freshman. And if you're California, you need Beer to go on a run.
Beer serve. Dug out by the Fighting Scots, set up on the outside for Nealon's. Her kill blocked. That time it was Muck who got a hand on it. And it was Muck and Johnson at the net. Too much for Nealon's and the Vulcans.
Dynamic duo right there, Muck and Johnson. Just like Johnson kind of was a decoy there, and Muck was able to get a full swing, and California gets within 3.
Beer. That's an ace, and the Vulcans are on a run.
Can say it's a Beer run right now. John Sape is Edinboro is going to call a timeout ahead 2. Again, trailing this 2-1. California trying to force this to a deciding 5th set. Great timeout, though, I think, for Coach Soboleski, just trying to stop the run for California.
Yeah, it was just a couple of misplays in a row by the Fighting Scots, and that's just you take the timeout and you go back, you kind of just get everyone to regroup, just calm down, get back on the same page. And even if you're Coach Soboleski, you say, hey, let's get our head back in it, but even if we don't win, we still have another set. But the Vulcans still very much alive in this game, only down by 2, 20-22.
This is a huge point. If California get within 1, that puts the pressure squarely on Edinboro. Borough gets the point, then you're only 2, and you can basically go point for point and almost luck into a win at that point. So all-important point here now for California and Beer serving.
Beer serve dug out by the Fighting Scots. Nealon's able to get that over. Nice diving effort by Smith. Johnson is going to get called for the carry.
Yep.
And probably in the absolute worst time that something like that could happen.
Yeah, and Coach Soboleski was right on that call. She pointed up to the officials, and California now backs against the wall. Not out of it. Need a big stop here.
The Fighting Scots serve. Dug out by Smith. Broke over. Able to get to it. Petrosevic slicing it out of play. And the Vulcans, with their backs against the wall, Edinboro on game point.
And again, John, California about a foot away total of being ahead in this set 24-20, so just some bad luck.
The serve. Dug out by Petrosevic. Set up in the middle for Johnson. Nice play by Pride to keep it up, but some miscommunication between Hardin and Soboleski, and the Vulcans have their opening.
They have their opening, and you have the steady server of Adriana Flavata going out, and also checking back in will be Eliza Ruggiero. But again, California has no margin for error. It's match point, down 3.
Flavata serve, dug out by the Fighting Scots. Set up on the outside for Nealand, able to get that one over, and nobody is there for California. And that is it from the Convocation Center. 3-1 in terms of sets. The Fighting Scots take the final set 25-21. From everyone here at CTV, thank you very much for watching. From our director, Noah Turner, from my broadcast partner, Gary Smith, my name is John Sabe. Thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you guys on Wednesday as the Vulcans take on the Crimson Hawks in women's soccer. Thank you all very much for watching, and good night, California.